Hello, everybody. My name is Roberta Robbins, and welcome to this space and time here with me right now, wherever you are finding this video. I just got done doing some videos for my YouTube channel for the month of March. I did the forecasting for the month, and I also did a reading, card reading. And so I was sitting here thinking, I need to do some videos. I need to do certain things. And it's been on my mind for a while. For those of you that do not know me, and for those of you that think you know me, kind of know me, or know me in a particular area of something. And I have, close friends that are reminding me all the time. They're like, you have so much, you do so much, there's so much to you. And yes, when people step into a container, a program, experience with me, they get to feel it, they get to see it. And the thing is, how do you get, right? How do you let everybody else know if in order for them to get a peek in and learn a little bit more about who I am, what I do, and a bit of my journey, and why you would want to come into any containers, programs, events that I facilitate, that I create and hold. And so there's that, doing the videos, doing the posts about like, who am I? Invite you into a little bit of my world. So as I was sitting here finishing up these other videos, I thought, why don't I come here and start? I have a tendency, though, to sometimes my videos become a little bit longer than I would like, because I know, and I say would like, I think it's important that we are all authentic and we do what is natural to us. And then there's the reality that we have very limited time to take and hold, to listen to videos or listen to audios, listen to podcasts, all the things, right? Even post on our Instagrams and our Facebook and all the things. There is this feel like we have to get people's attention in small blocks. So where to start, and hopefully I won't run too long. And I greatly appreciate that you're here with me in this moment, in this time. So as I was thinking about this, I have a program that's coming up, and I don't hear the sell you on this program. This video is not about that. But what I was thinking is this one particular day training, and I've done this one so many times, but it's the introduction into the shamanism world, into journeying, and the importance of it. And I would say people that kind of know me, we all get top notes of what impressions people put on us. And one of the top ones that people will put and think of me and will give me phone calls and emails out is because they know that I have some shamanic training. They know that some of them are referred to me as a shaman. I do not refer to myself as a shaman. I go into that in my trainings, what I feel about that title, and even shamans that I know that are shamans. There's this whole thing of they don't give themselves that title. It's a very cultural thing. But what I do align with and walk with, and I will own this within myself of that, is a very shamanic archetype, and also very crone, wisdom, wise woman archetype, and very earthy and paganism, Celtic type energetics, earth weaving, cosmic weaving, all those things. So as I was thinking of this program that I have coming up again, to teach people about the world of the shaman, the archetype of the shaman, and journeying, well, where do I get my training? How did I get on this path? And people ask me this, like, Roberta, you seem like you've been on this path. You do so many different things. When did this all start? When was your aha? When did you awaken? When, because this is a common thing that happens, that a lot of people have a moment, and they know that was something that happened within their life, or a moment, or a space, or a year, or an age, that they shifted and started to focus and walk a particular kind of path, especially within the spiritual realms of various things. And when I get asked that a lot from people all the time, when was it? What was yours? I'm like, I was kind of birthed into this world this way. We all have like things definitely that wake us up into when we have dark nights of the soul or spiritual emergencies, various things that kind of ignite and do certain things for us, to us, for us, within us. But I was definitely saying, my journey from very, very young, I've always been aware of what is beyond what we don't, beyond what we see. I've always been connected to the elements, to the seasons, to the moon, to the animals, to spirits. Since I was young, I have always been shifting, walking, like astral traveling, remote viewing. I was doing those things when I was quite young. Now, it took me the last few years or so to really realize in a bigger way, yes, it's always been there. I think, even myself, I was taking it to a point where I'm like, oh, it was my late teens. I was about 18 or so when I remember getting like some of my first books and reading, but realizing that was the time where I actively said, I want to start learning and doing trainings and teachings to understand these things. But the reality is, it was always there. And so as I journeyed and moved back and thought about different spaces and ages and times in my life, it's always been there, that connection for me. It's ever not been. And I know that's not the path and the way for everybody. And I got to, we all got to honor where those places and spaces are. And so, when it comes to shamanism and the walking with the shaman, befriending that archetype, feeling that that is something, a medicine within us, along with some other archetypes of medicines I definitely relate to and know are part of me. The shaman, we have so many thoughts and views about that word. And as I talk to you guys about this one from my point of view, I'm coming at this from the archetype, the medicine. Every culture has a different thought and meaning what that means. There's different names to the shaman too, like elder, sage, medicine man, death walker, dream walker, realm walker. I've been using a lot more realm walker lately in my teachings and programs. But there was lots of different kind of energetics and views and thoughts of what that means. So while I'm talking to you, I'm talking about the archetype and the medicine. And there is certain paths and teachings though, right? And, I started to actively go into that realm, into that world of various teachings of the shaman and the shamanic world. And, every there's lots of different ways to go into this. So my first introduction into parts of teachings of a particular path started when I was in my late 20s. I was saying maybe around 27, probably around 27, when I first got my first experience of particular teachings from the Sweet Sundance Medicine Path. That's where I had started. And there were some people that were about an hour to 2 hours away from where I lived that I was hearing were doing some journeying, power animal, wheel teachings, elemental wheel teachings, directional teachings, all these different things, medicine teachings. So I started going to some of these things and I started to learn that particular path. Of course, when you start with the one particular path, you kind of think that is the path. No, it's an entry and it's a particular one, as I came to learn. So I started out, being taught how to journey, and not a full on, what I did notice, it wasn't the full on mythology of it. It was like a very light way they were teaching how to do journey, and they were talking about power animals and spirit guides. Mainly focus started with lower world and power animals. And then I did some teachings learning about the wheels. And I will refer to these as key wheel drivers. And that's what they refer to them as, this particular path, medicine path. And I learned about these medicine wheels and the directions and the animals and the humans and the plants and the emotional, the energetics, like the cycle of life, our stages of life. I went into like animals, animal wheels. Some of them are related within the zodiac wheel. And I also did some moon medicine, but not moon medicine like I teach. Most of the time that people would think about the moon, a full moon, new moons, and what a zodiac sign they're in. Not that at all. Literally, these moons, the big moons, the small moons, the child moon, the adult moon, the elder moon, as cycles in our lives with our ages within our cycles of our lives. A totally different kind of other teaching, which is a beautiful, wonderful teaching. So I started there, and then got into my 30s and was drawn more and more. I really felt this shamanic, earthy type connection, wanting to be with the land, listening to spirits more, with nature, plants, medicine. And then I decided to do the training through the Michael Harner Institute of Shamanic Studies. And there at the time was one teacher from the foundations there, from the Institute, that was in Southern Ontario, who was running the trainings. And so I started doing those. And there was quite a few different ones. And there's, beginners, how to journey, the methodology, which I already kind of knew, and I was seeing in other cultures and other things I've traveled through, other ways that I was already doing this. But I did the studies through them. The Way of the Shaman, Michael Harner, some of you guys might know that book from Michael Harner. As I look over on my bookshelf, it's definitely over there somewhere. So, I was learning about how to retrieve the power animal. How would you retrieve it for somebody else? Retrieving spirit guides, how to retrieve, how to do empowerment. Then went to spiritual extractions and psychopomp work, so working with the dead and working with nature spirits and a whole bunch of other things in between there. So I did that through my mid-30s to my later 30s, doing those trainings. And along in these times, I also started when I was about 39, 40, I'm 46 now. I started traveling more. I spent time in Peru. I started to learn certain traditions and what the medicine men and women of those lands and their teachings were about. I also was drawn more to Ireland, like Celtic shamanism. And there's even debate about that. Celtic shamanism is for some, a very debatable topic or wording in that. But just raveling through. So I do have a lot of teachings, a lot of walk with these medicines of the shaman in lots of different ways. And I really do enjoy teaching people about the archetype of the shaman, of the sage, of the medicine woman, the medicine man, and all the other energetics that come with it. And I do believe, I've taught many times, people how to journey. And in shamanic journeying with drum, with rattles, upper world, lower world, power animals, spirit guides, middle world, what's going on there, empowerment, like all these things. And so it's been a long walk. And I do, anybody that works with me, I weave in a lot of my other teachings. I'm someone when whether it's one-on-one or in group settings, I do have a big basket, medicine basket of a lot of teachings, a lot of trainings. And I pull what is needed, uniquely needed and called forth in that time, in that moment, to help support my students, my clients, the participants in their journey, which makes that a unique signature of me and how I support people, and having a wide range of how to see and hear where the person is and what their language is, and what I need to pull out and help them in their language to help things to connect for them. And the reality is everything is connected. So we may have the shaman, and I may talk and have shamanic teachings. I may walk and have very shamanic, shaman type energetics that I work with, I walk with, and that I am. But I also have many other ones. And that sometimes can be very hard for people to take pieces and go, oh, I thought you did this. Oh, don't you do this? Because we've been taught to pick a particular line and a particular niche and go with it. And I've in particular titles to put on ourselves. And I will not, I cannot. And I'm sure those of you that are here that have walked with me for a while, you've seen posts and writings, and you will hear me say that, because we are so much. And yes, we all have particular lines that we connect with, energetics that are uniquely us and top notes of us. I do have a lot, but I do have top notes. One is the shaman. And so who knows where this path will continue to lead, and the medicine and all how it connects with the crone, the wise woman, and very pagan type energetics. But they all return us to the ancient ones, to our self beyond this life, this human life that we are here on planet Earth at this moment. We are so much beyond this. And this is becoming more of a common lingo and topic that we can freely talk about more these days, where it wasn't always that way. And we are moving into this space and time to really embody that we are more beyond this earthly 3D realm life that we're living right now. And so that's just a little bit about me in the shamanic path that I've taken, and why I teach definitely medicine and components, but I also weave a lot of my own medicine in there from other things and who I am in my own experience. And what a major gift is I can connect and talk to a lot of people in different ways through whatever their language is. So I'm going to wrap this up. Who knows how long this was? I'm sure I'm going to do videos about some other things that I've done and teachings and trainings, so you get to know me beyond even the shamanic archetype. And thanks for being here and listening to a part of my story.